Good afternoon. My name is Saul Simon. We've been doing these educational workshops and certified financial planner, 40 years in the business. Totally love educating people. And today we have Michael Rustine. Michael is a friend. Michael is a veteran in the insurance business for 30 years. And today's subject is on Medicare planning. Michael, welcome.
Good to be here.
So, Saul is going to be 65 years old this October.
Say what?
Yep,
Yeah.
65. I don't kind of get it. I'm getting all this mail. I'm getting solicitation. And I too am getting confused by the data and all the information I read. And Michael's been a great educator to not only myself, but also to others. And I thought, if I'm experiencing this, maybe others would have comments, questions, and concerns. So, Michael, why don't you just take a moment and let's just introduce yourself, and let's start to distinguish the difference between Medicare Part A and B and help to reduce some of the
All,
confusion.
all the different letters. As Saul said, I've been in the business for 30 years. I am licensed in all 50 states. I know all the plans in all the states and all the options. And as you mentioned, it seems confusing, but it's really not. Okay. Medicare consists of two parts, Part A and Part B. Part A is your inpatient hospital. Okay. Part B is pretty much everything outside the hospital, your doctors, physicians, physical therapy. That's what you have to sign up for, Part B, which I'll get into. Okay. So you eventually going to get a red, white, and blue card that has Part A and Part B. Now you get Part A for free. It doesn't cost anything. Okay. Part B is, well, it starts at $202.50 per month. Okay. And then it gradually rises based on income. There's charts out there that you can look at your income and it will tell you exactly how much you would pay each month. Okay. But you have to, if you're collecting Social Security, which most people are not at your age, it all comes automatically. But you have to go and sign up for Part B. People ask, what do I have to do? The only thing you have to do is sign up for Part B. How do you sign up for Part B? You can go on the Social Security website and enroll in Part B, or you can go to one of the local Social Security offices, which they're all over the place, and go in there physically and actually it's better to make an appointment and then enroll. Okay.
The website is ss.gov, correct?
I mean, I don't know. It might be SS.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I'll list it. Yep.
Okay. Now that you've had Part A and Part B, you'll get in the mail a red, white, and blue card, as I mentioned, that shows your Part A start date and your Part B start date. Well, what do you do? Okay. This is what all the mail you're getting right now. Now you can actually do nothing. You don't have to do anything. You have Part A, which is the hospital, and Part B are doctors. If you do nothing, what's the worst case that could happen? Okay. If you go in a hospital, there's a $1,736 deductible. Okay. You would have to pay the 1736. Obviously, it's even for a one night stay, 1736. And you would then have be responsible for 20% of the doctor costs. Now that could add up. Okay. So that's Part A. That's what your responsibility is on Part A. Okay.
And is that every incident or is that an annual deductible?
Every 60 days starts a new benefit period. So if you go in January and you go back in July, you got to do it again or pay it again. Okay. That's in the hospital. Outside the hospital is a $283 deductible. And then Medicare will start paying 80%. Okay. So you're responsible for the first $283. And then Medicare will pay 80%. So obviously you're responsible for the 20%. Okay.
And is that also every 60 days?
That's a calendar year deductible. So if you're
Calendar
coming
year.
on Medicare in October, November, you have a calendar year deductible of $283. Then Medicare is going to start paying their 80%. Okay.
So because let me do this for me.
Okay.
October, November, December, I'm going to spend 283 as a deductible, and then I'm on the hook for 20% on Part B in this example.
Correct. And I'm
Great.
simplifying all this to make it simple for people. There's a couple of other little things which I go over with clients, when they call, but that's the gist of it. Okay. So that's
Great.
nothing. Most people do not do nothing. Okay. You have a couple of choices. You can buy a Medicare supplement or a Medigap plan. They're both the same thing. Or you can join and replace your Medicare with what they call a Medicare Advantage plan, which are PPOs and HMOs. Okay. So you can buy a supplement or you can replace your Medicare and join an Advantage plan. I'm going to go with the supplements first. That's your first choice. So remember I mentioned you have deductibles, the 1736, you have the 283 deductible, 20%, 80%. The supplement, I always go like this, supplements Medicare. So you pay a fixed fee to an insurance company and they will pick up what Medicare doesn't pay the whole thing on, okay? You would be still, all the supplements require that you pay the $283 deductible. So you have to pay that, whatever supplement plan you take. And then there's slight variations. I don't know if you want to go through them now, but there's only a few main plans that people take. But in your area or most areas, the supplement ranges from $50 a month to say 150, $200 a month. And that would obviously, the lower the premium, the more out of pocket you would have each month. So that's a supplement, okay? If you stay on original Medicare, whether you take a supplement or don't take a supplement, you will need a drug plan. Most of the drug plans offered today don't even cost you anything. So there's no reason not to jump on a drug plan. And what I do, people send me their prescriptions, simvastatin, 20 milligrams, whatever it is. They send it to me. We run it through the database and it tells us who's got the lowest premium, an insurance company, and what the copays are for your prescriptions. That's called Part D. So we went over Part A, Part B, and D is the prescription plans. Okay. So once I get those prescriptions, it's very easy. You just enter the prescriptions and it tells you exactly which plan to take. There's only about 12 or 15 plans in each area. So there's not a lot to choose from. But you want to go with the plan that has the lowest out of pocket based on your prescriptions. And the best thing about it is you can switch it during the open enrollment period, the annual election period, every year. So from in November and December, or in October, half of October, you can shop the plans and your prescriptions change. You can jump on a different plan. So you're not married to the prescription plan. Okay. Same thing with the supplement. If you take a supplement today, you're on the plan. As long as you pay your premium, you have the plan forever. You can also switch, but when you switch 6 months down the road, there will be some basic health questions. So if you have any major health conditions, you might not be able to switch your supplement. Now, the other alternative I mentioned, besides you got your Medicare and you got your supplement, you can basically leave the Medicare system. You're still on Medicare and join a Medicare Advantage plan. Now, that's what most people get in the mail when they turn 65 is tons of mails from the Medicare Advantage insurance companies. They consist of HMOs and PPOs for the most part. And once you get on whether it's an Aetna, Humana, United Healthcare, whoever it is, they will list exactly what you pay. Like on most people's plans now, it tells you, how much you pay to the doctor's office, a specialist, physical therapy, inpatient hospital, say 300 a day in a hospital for the first week or so. It depends. Everyone's got a different plan. And then you have to shop all of those plans to pick the best plan that's best for you, but you could also make sure your doctor is on those plans. Okay. And those plans, for the most part, don't cost anything. Okay. That's the advantage of the Advantage plan is they don't cost anything, but they will say right in the front page, the first thing I look at is what's my maximum amount out of pocket. What's it going to cost me if the worst thing happens? And it continues and you're paying copays and hospitals. Most of them average about $6,000 a year. So it does cost you once you take a Medicare Advantage plan. So you have two choices. Well, actually three. You can stay on Medicare and do nothing, or you can stay on Medicare. When you're on Medicare, you can pick your own doctors too. There's no doctor lists. As long as they accept Medicare, you can go to those doctors and you can buy a supplement if you want. Or B, join a Medicare Advantage plan, which is an insurance company, and check your doctors to make sure they're on the list. They do have, a lot of them have out-of-network benefits. It will cost you a little more, but it gives you the option. And the Medicare Advantage plans also include a prescription drug plan. So it comes with, and they also offer added benefits too, like dental most of the time, hearing aids, sometimes some gym memberships. So they try to entice.
Do you lead people down the road of taking a supplement or taking a Medicare Advantage
Oh,
plan?
that's a great question. I don't lead them. I tell them each one and let them decide which one is best for them. Everyone, there's no one's better. It depends on the person, in their situation. So you can, I mean, I kind of know which way they're leaning after I speak to them and get their situation, but it's up to them.
So let's take a step back, folks.
Okay.
You know, certified financial planner, 40 years. I've watched people age and get older, and you've paid a lot of money into the system, into government benefits, Medicare, FICA through your payroll and what have you. So this insurance program is really good when it comes to your own risk management, like that bottom layer of the pyramid where you're protecting yourself, like with your life insurance. Hopefully, you purchased long-term care insurance. You've got auto and homeowners insurance, which, frankly, if you don't use it, you lose it, which sometimes is okay because we don't want to have any types of fires and or accidents. Um, so when you're looking to protect your own health and well-being, this type of a conversation is pretty important that it's tailored to your specific needs.
Correct.
So let's take now, one of the things I wrote down is what
Well,
is
let me just jump in for 1 second. You were mentioning your insurances before. Prior to age 65, you have huge deductibles. You have co-insurance where you're paying say 20%, and your premiums are high, very high. We're talking thousands of dollars a month. So when you get on Medicare, your out of pocket is so much lower. I mean, it's incredible. And that's what people like. But go ahead, what were you saying?
um, what is part C as in Charlotte? You told me
Okay,
what
that's
A
it.
is with hospital, B is for the doctors, physical therapy, anything to do with outside care.
The
And I'm
hospital,
not talking about assisted living facilities, folks. I'm not talking about having someone come into your house.
which is
That's under the
yeah,
context of long-term care. And then part D, as in David, is prescription. So what's part C, Michael?
great question, very perceptive. Part C are the Medicare Advantage plans that I went over. So you have the two parts of Medicare, then you have the option of taking Part C, which is the Medicare Advantage plans. And then, of course, Part D, you can only take Part D if you are on original Medicare.
The supplement.
Right, which is optional, but most 99% of the people, or even higher, will take a Medicare supplement.
Yeah, I think that's a prudent move, folks. You don't need to be self-insuring for
Oh,
your
it's
medical needs as we age and get older and have various issues.
and most insurance plans under the age of 65 will have a cap. Like you could run up $1 million of bills and maybe pay $7,000, whereas on Medicare, there is no cap. The 20% goes forever, or as high as can be. So that's why you can get a supplement. And there are supplements just to protect you in case you have a big monster bills.
Catastrophic.
Catastrophic, which those plans, $50 a month or so, depending on where you live.
Um,
Yeah.
in in my insurance world, um, where you live and your zip code is irrelevant. In the insurance world of homeowners insurance or in car insurance, a zip code has some meaning. Does a zip code and location as to where you live have an impact on the prices that you are going to have to pay for a supplement or Medicare Advantage
Well, the
product?
Advantage doesn't cost anything, so it's going to be, there are plans on Advantages that might charge you $70 a month, $80 a month. I usually don't recommend those plans. If you're going to take an Advantage plan, you'd always want to pay zero. But on a supplement, yes, zip codes, areas reflect the prices. So in places like Miami, New York, places like that, that's higher premiums, whereas, a lot of parts of the country, it's probably half the price. Because it
Right.
also it depends on what Medicare reimburses the doctors too. So if Medicare pays a lot more in one area, the supplement's going to end up paying more. So you're going
Right.
to, but that is correct.
Right.
But there are plans. I mean, a lot of people go overboard when they buy a supplement. They want to get the Cadillac plan, but you don't have to. There's a lot of other options that you can
So
get
let's talk about me. So my birthday is October 7th. If anybody wants to wish me a happy birthday
or send something.
or send me, you
Yeah.
know what? You could send me a used card. You know, if it's from a family member, you don't even like cross it out. You could write and Saul. This way we are recycling that $5 card because they're getting even more expensive to this day. But all kidding aside, got to bring a little humor into my in my being. Um, when do I go on ss.gov and make application? I heard something about 3 months.
That's
When do I
exactly
do this?
that's when I would do it. 3 months ahead of time that you would do it.
So July 1st, I'm
So
going to go on to ss.gov and I'm going to now make application. What does that mean? Make
you're gonna
application.
apply. You're gonna apply for Part B. That's all you have to do. There's nothing, forget about the Advantage plans or supplements. That's down the road. You can do that in 10 minutes. What you want to do is just go right on the website and apply for Part B as in boy.
Okay,
Yeah,
easy peasy.
easy.
And I could do that July 1st.
Correct. Yep.
Okay, I
Yep.
made a note of it. What's the next step for me? Michael, I'm going to turn to you for this help anyway. I've built a relationship and trust with you. I've introduced you to many people. Um, this is not my focus, and we're going to sit down and talk. So, what is the next question
Well,
that you would advise and guide me?
once you get your Part B, it takes time too. It doesn't happen in a day or two. They're gonna send you a red, white, and blue Medicare card. And once you get the card, you're gonna call me, and then we're gonna sit down, whether it's on the phone or in person, and I'm gonna go over the options, basically what I just went over on this call. We're gonna go, but with prices, you're gonna weigh, which way you want to go. Do I want to pay X amount? Do I want to go on an Advantage plan? Do I want to look for my doctors that are on the Advantage plan to make sure they're on the Advantage plan? Or do I want to have the ability to go to any doctor I want if I stayed on an original Medicare who accepts Medicare?
When you turn 65, what will you be doing?
Oh, I wouldn't buy any of this stuff. No, I'm kidding. Of course I would.
Ah,
I would definitely. Oh, what would I buy, you're saying?
yeah,
I don't want
what's
to,
Michael gonna
that's
buy when you
no, no,
turn 65?
every situation is different. There's no right answer or right plan. It depends on your doctors. It depends on your medications, basically, because some of the prescription plans, it might be a high copay. Who knows what's going to happen down the road? So it's all individual dependent. You know, there's no right answer.
Well, one of my concerns when you referenced earlier that if I want to change a plan, I don't have an automatic waiver to go get anything I want. I now have to make application and answer a few health questions.
Not now. When you turn 65, is that going to be your question?
Well, after I make this election,
Okay.
and I'm now 68,
Hmm.
you said that if I wanted to change plans, I now have to make application and I have to answer some health questions.
Some general health questions, correct.
What occurs for me is I'm now vulnerable. I'm now not in control. And like I could feel like I'm stuck in this plan. True or false?
No, not false. Your plan, as long as you pay the monthly premium, if that's the plan you want, you're going to continue it. There might be another one that might be a little less premium, okay? But that's the only advantage to switching is to get one for a lower cost, okay?
I see.
That's when you have to answer health questions. But you
I
could always
see.
go to an advantage plan if you wanted to. You could always go to an advantage plan and um, no questions. You can go, okay? And also in an advantage plan, you could switch every single year. And there's also one other thing. If you join an advantage plan, they give you 12 months to decide if you like it. So if you're on a supplement and you want to go back to your supplement, you can go back to your supplement, no questions asked. If you try an advantage plan. So there's a lot of other things. I'm not going to get into everything, but that's a very good benefit, to be able to go back to your supplement if the Advantage plan didn't work out, which happens a lot. People try the Advantage plan, wasn't for them. They go back to
Why?
the
Why?
um, their doctor left the plan. I mean, there's a lot of reasons that could happen.
Well, so a doctor left the plan. That's a pretty good reason.
Oh, that's it.
What else?
You, the copays got too high. They raised the copay. It might have been a X amount this year, and next year they went X higher. So the
So
copay got high.
are supplement plans fixed where there is no vulnerability of an insurance company raising the copays, as in this
No, no,
example
no,
in the
no. It's
medic?
set in stone by Medicare. For the most part, your only liability on a supplement is that annual Part B $283 deductible. That's for the majority of people are on that plan. So if you run up $1 million of bills, you owe $283 for the year to the doctors. And that's it.
Do I have the ability to go to any doctor I want?
Any doctor that accepts Medicare, yes.
So
Okay.
I guess, so how much is a supplement?
Supplements range from say 50 to, depending on the area, and this is the higher plan, maybe
How about you and me? We live in the Boca Raton area,
okay,
334 Millsip.
200 a month-ish.
So I'm spending $2,400 a year, 200 a month
Hmm.
for a supplement plan that gives me the ability to go to any doctor I want
Anytime.
anytime. I have to pay a 283 deductible. The 20% is waived,
Well, that's what you're paying the $200 a month for.
right?
The insurance
What's the
company.
negative of me buying that plan? How about prescriptions? What's my prescription vulnerability? What am I
Well,
on the risk for on
you
prescripts?
would, well, as I said, prescriptions are separate. You would give me your prescriptions. I would run them through the database and find the best or the lowest copays and the lowest monthly premium. Most plans are 0 a month now. They used to be a lot higher, but they've come down to close to 0 or if not 0.
So then I'm going to have two plans. I'm going to have a supplement and a prescription plan.
100% correct.
Got it.
That's it.
Got it. And
Then you
if I
go on your
don't
merry,
go, what?
no, then go on your merry way. You're done.
So again, this is great information. Um, I think it's great. I'm getting value, and I hope others are getting value from this. One of the things I always want to be is a resource, and
Mhm.
everybody has a question or a comment or a thought. Um, and this is just another value add of, bringing something to the table where pass this video on to a friend,
Yeah,
engage in a conversation to discuss, you know, what decisions they're making. One of the things I'm always getting questions about is Social Security. When do I take it? What's the tax implication? What's the difference between a full benefit? What if I had my wife take it and take half? This one's
Mhm.
divorced. I mean, do I
Oh, there's
wait
a
till
hundred variables.
70?
Yeah,
What?
there's a ton of variables.
A
Yeah,
ton of variables. And I need to dialogue with people tailored to what their financial situation is to determine when is the most opportune time to take Social Security. Are they married? How their health is, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Um, so here's my takeaway. My takeaway is 3 months before your 65th birthday, you make application on the ss.gov website to apply for Part B.
Mhm.
You get your red, white, and blue card, and you then make a phone call to a guy like you, a woman who specializes in this space to now tailor a conversation based on your medical needs, your prescription needs, um, maybe what doctors you're comfortable seeing,
Exactly.
maybe Part C Medicare Advantage plans could be. Is Medicare Advantage like an HMO concept?
Correct. They're HMOs or PPOs. There's when you go on to look at the Advantage plans, there might be 60 plans in your area. There's a ton,
Overwhelming,
yes, it's a ton of them to look at. There's
overwhelming.
lots of them. Different copays, different maximum out of pockets. The average is about 6,000 for the year. I mean, they can go up to 9,000, or some of them could go lower. Usually it's the
Right,
HMOs that have lower ones, you know.
right,
But
right.
that's, as you were just saying, that's what we do. Once you're ready, you, you call and I customize, all the options for you.
Well, this was pretty great. Do you want to share anything else as we're
That's
closing?
it. Give me a call and you can go to Saul.
All
Call
right,
Saul.
folks. Michael, I appreciate you
Yeah,
coming on. This was great.
you got it.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions, we have phone numbers and we have the website down on the bottom. Feel free to reach out and give us a call. And I thank you for tuning in. And frankly, continue to reach out to us and share what is it that you'd like to learn about? What is it you'd like me to kind of cover as a topic? We did estate planning. We did something for our young adult children called Financial Essentials.
Mhm.
Um, and Michael, I appreciate you coming on, and we'll talk to each other soon. Have a great day. Thanks.
You too. Thank you.